She commanded 150 soldiers into enemy territory, freed 750 people in a single night, and became the only woman in American history to lead a military raid during the Civil War. Yet most people only know half her story. Her name was Harriet Tubman, and what the history books left out will change everything you thought you knew about her. Born into slavery in 1821 in Dorchester County, Maryland, Harriet endured brutality that would have broken most people. As a young girl, her enslaver hurled a 2-pound iron weight at another slave, but struck Harriet instead, fracturing her skull. According to her autobiography and interviews documented by historian Kate Clifford Larson, this trauma caused her to suffer seizures and narcoleptic episodes for the rest of her life. She would suddenly fall into deep sleep during conversations, sometimes experiencing vivid visions she believed were messages from God. But this woman, who society deemed damaged and worthless, would go on to outsmart some of the most powerful men in America. In 1849, facing the threat of being sold deeper into the South where survival rates were even more brutal, Harriet made a decision that would define her legacy. She escaped, traveling nearly 90 miles on foot to Philadelphia. Her husband, John Tubman, a free black man, refused to join her. When she returned months later to bring him north, she discovered he'd remarried. That betrayal could have stopped her. Instead, it fueled her. Over the next decade, Tubman made approximately 13 trips back into slave territory. The National Park Service archives confirm she personally led around 70 people to freedom through the Underground Railroad network, never losing a single passenger. She carried a revolver, not to threaten slave catchers, but to ensure that frightened runaways didn't turn back and endanger the entire group. As she reportedly told her passengers, "You'll be free or die." But here's where her story takes a turn most history classes skip entirely. When the Civil War erupted in 1861, Tubman didn't just support the Union effort from a distance. According to military records housed at the National Archives, she became a spy, scout, and nurse for the Union Army. She gathered intelligence, mapped Confederate supply routes, and identified which plantations held enslaved people waiting to escape. Then came June 2nd, 1863, a date that should be taught in every American classroom. Under the command of Colonel James Montgomery, Harriet Tubman led the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina. This wasn't symbolic leadership. She directed 150 black Union soldiers, navigated gunboats past hidden Confederate torpedoes she'd identified through her intelligence work, and orchestrated the liberation of more than 750 enslaved people in a single operation. The Library of Congress records this as the only military engagement in American history where a woman served as the tactical leader. Let that sink in. A woman who'd been enslaved, who suffered from a debilitating injury, who couldn't read or write, outmaneuvered the Confederate military and freed 750 human beings in one night. After the war, Tubman settled in Auburn, New York, but her fight wasn't over. She joined the women's suffrage movement, working alongside Susan B. Anthony and Emily Howland. In 1911, at a suffrage meeting in Geneva, New York, a white woman challenged her, asking if she truly believed women should vote. Tubman's response, documented by suffragist Edna Dow Cheney, was devastating in its simplicity. "I suffered enough to believe it." 2 years later, on March 10, 1913, Harriet Tubman died of pneumonia in Auburn, New York. She was approximately 92 years old. She'd lived to see slavery abolished, but died 7 years before women won the right to vote, a right she'd bled for but never exercised herself. The woman they called Moses wasn't just a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She was a military strategist, a spy, a freedom fighter, and a suffragist who rewrote what was possible for women and black Americans in this country. So here's my question for you. If Harriet Tubman could lead a military raid while suffering from seizures, escape slavery with nothing but her courage, and fight for rights she'd never personally enjoy, what's stopping us from fighting for justice today? Drop your thoughts below, hit that follow button, and let's keep uncovering the stories they didn't teach us in school. Because at Ikemefuna History TV, we don't just tell history, we resurrect it.